Tonight on News 3 Now at 5, running out of funds, how the governor wants the federal government to help out Wisconsin's food share program.
We'll hear from a local worker furloughed by our government shutdown about the effect it's having on her family.
And thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 5. We have breaking news at this hour. We begin with the Madison Fire Department, which says it pulled a body from Lake Monona earlier today.
Here's what we know tonight at 5. Madison Fire was called to the scene just before 12:30 this afternoon. The Dane County Sheriff's Office is now leading this investigation. The Sheriff's Office has not released any other specific information yet about this incident. This is a developing situation. We're watching it closely. A press release is coming, and as soon as we have more information, we will let you know.
Well, next to our first warn forecast, a chilly gray Wednesday with frosty weather ahead. Here's meteorologist Blaze Keller. Blaze?
That's right. We are looking at another dreary fall-like day across southern Wisconsin. Live on our Edgewater Sky Cam, it is 46 degrees. Feels like 41 in Madison, thanks to these breezy northwesterly winds still sticking around. The same low pressure system that has brought us the cooler air and the breezy conditions is slow to move on out of here. But thankfully, it looks like we're going to say goodbye to not only the cloud cover, but also the breezy and cooler air as we head closer to the weekend. Eric had mentioned that we're in for maybe a frosty night. Temperatures dipping into the low 30s tonight. Some of us hovering right above freezing, 32 degrees. Others closer to Lake Michigan, maybe hanging out in those upper 30s with a little bit more cloud cover. That's going to help trap in what little heat we did see today. Clear skies further south and west. There is the latest look at our frost advisories. Anybody in the blue stretching from Juneau, Adams County south to the state line, Dane, as well as Rock and Greene counties underneath that frost advisory for mainly Thursday morning. Just over the border in Iowa and Illinois, freeze warning. So a cool night across central and southern Wisconsin and the Midwest, but we're not done with the cold yet. We could experience our first hard freeze before we head into the weekend. But as I mentioned, the weekend is looking warmer and less cloudy and windy. So we'll take a look at what we can expect in the upcoming, for the upcoming weekend, in the full forecast.
All right, Blaze, thank you. In just 9 days now, a program that helps feed nearly 700,000 Wisconsinites will run out of money. The state's Department of Health Services says the federally funded food share program will not have the money it needs to operate in November due to the government shutdown. With the shutdown now in its 22nd day and no end in sight, Wisconsinites who rely on the program are left with few options.
And this is happening as food pantries all across the area are preparing for their busiest season of the year.
Our Tanisha Shaw live at the Sunshine Place in Sun Prairie. And Tanisha, the president there at Sunshine Place said he is nervous here.
Hi, Susan and Eric. I'm here at the Sunshine Place. It's a pantry in Sun Prairie. And earlier today, I talked to the president of the pantry, and he told me that with the government shutdown and with the delay of food share benefits, it's going to be really hard to keep items like this on their shelves.
We're going to do everything that we can, but yeah, I'm concerned.
A busy Wednesday afternoon at the Sunshine Place in Sun Prairie. Mark Thompson says since 2020, more people have taken advantage of the pantry.
We have seen over the last 5 years a 260% increase in pantry usage.
On Tuesday, the Wisconsin Department of Health stated because of the ongoing government shutdown, food share benefits will be delayed next month.
It does make me nervous, but I will say this. It gives us even maybe more incentive to work harder at it because we've got to be there for folks.
This will change how nearly 700,000 Wisconsin families put food on the table starting on November 1st.
We're coming into some of the busiest months. You know, these are holiday months, but they're also food months, and we see some of our highest usage at the food pantry during this time.
Thompson says a lot of people that use the pantry also use food share benefits. He says it's going to be hard to keep the pantry shelves full.
We've made it through the pandemic. We've made it through a lot of things, and we're going to do everything that we possibly can to make sure that we make it through, because some of the most vulnerable people in our community, the elderly and the young kids, are depending on us, and we got to be there for them.
And about 40,000 people in Dane County alone will be those impacted by those food share benefit delays. And if you want to help fill the shelves or any shelves in the Dane County area, I talked to the president, who told me that they will gladly accept any donation, whether that's a monetary donation or bringing food up to the pantries. Reporting in Sun Prairie, Tanasia Shaw, News 3 Now.
All right, Tanasia, thank you. And a reminder, if you need resources, you have any questions, call 211.
We saw something similar happen with the Special Supplemental Nutrition Program for Women, Infants, and Children, also known as WIC, which serves millions of low-income mothers, children, and expecting parents across the country.
WIC was set to run out of money in a matter of weeks, but the Trump administration threw that program a lifeline with millions of dollars in tariff revenues. Now Governor Tony Evers asking the administration to find a way to do the same for food share. In a letter to the administration's USDA secretary, the governor says, quote, USDA has the tools within their authority to address this crisis now. The timeline is urgent. The consequences are severe. Please take swift and decisive action to extend SNAP benefits as long as eligible and readily available federal funding allows.
Well, the shutdown's impacts don't stop there. About 18,000 Wisconsinites and federal workers with the shutdown continuing indefinitely. Some of them have received notices that they are furloughed. Earlier today, Congressman Mark Pocan hosted an event where he met with some of those workers. News 3 Now had a crew at the event, and we heard from a science technician who says she doesn't know when she's going to get her next paycheck.
We are used to being a two-income household, and so losing my paycheck for an indefinite amount of time has been really hard.
And the Senate, breaking right now, just failed to advance a bill that would have reopened the government. To receive any and all news related to the government shutdown, you can have notifications sent directly to your phone. Just download the free Channel 3000 mobile app.
In other news at 5, 2 men are dead after a fiery crash that happened in the town of Arlington. It was about 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Columbia County Sheriff's deputies received reports of a two-vehicle crash on Weebu Road near Campen Road. And callers had reported both drivers were trapped, that one car had caught fire. An initial investigation revealed a Toyota Camry was headed south on Weebu and was left of the center line as it approached a hill and crashed head-on into a northbound Ford SUV. The drivers, both in their 40s, died from their injuries.
Right now, a man is in the Dane County Jail for allegedly knocking a police officer unconscious at a Madison grocery store. Officers responded to the Festival Foods on East Washington for a disturbance last night around 5 o'clock. Employees said a man in the store made violent threats towards them, and they say he resisted arrest. At one point, he slammed one of the officers to the ground. That officer was taken to the hospital and is recovering tonight at home. The suspect is now facing multiple charges, including disorderly conduct, resisting an officer causing substantial bodily harm, substantial battery, and battery to a police officer. Well, tonight is the season opener for the Milwaukee Bucks.
Sports director Andrew Banstra shows us what's different this season for the team and tells us about an old friend on the opposing sideline tonight at Fiserv Forum.
Another record-breaking enrollment year for the universities of Wisconsin. We'll tell you which students are leading that increase.
Plus, what Matt LaFleur says his plan is against Aaron Rodgers this weekend when the Packers go to Pittsburgh to play the Steelers. And on Wall Street, stocks sink in midweek trading. The Dow loses 334 points. The NASDAQ falls 213 and change. The S&P 500 off 36. We'll be right back.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Hard to believe that basketball is here. In just a few hours, the Bucks will tip off their new season at home against the Washington Wizards.
And sports director Andrew Banstra joins us with what's different this year, Andrew.
Yeah, the Bucks look a whole lot different this year, and that is by design. They haven't made it through the first round of the playoffs since winning their title in 2021, meaning there were some hard goodbyes. None more challenging than Chris Middleton, who got traded away from the team last season. Middleton spent a dozen years with the Deer and was integral to winning that title. Doc Rivers says he expects Bucks fans and Middleton's return to Milwaukee to welcome him with open arms.
He should get the biggest reception you can get, for a lot of reasons. Number one, he won a title here. He was always a great teammate here. He was phenomenal in the community here. He didn't ask to get traded, so there's no reason for anyone to be upset at Chris Middleton. This should be an amazing crowd.
Middleton will be honored before the game on the video board, but the Bucks can't overlook the importance of this game. Remember, last year they started the season 1-7. Of course, we will have the highlights of this game coming up later tonight.
I had forgotten that 1-7 start. Probably most of us wanted to. Andrew, thank you. Enrollment at the universities of Wisconsin is up for a third straight year. Leading that record, freshmen from the state of Wisconsin. Fall 2025 enrollment totals more than 164,600 students. That's system-wide, by the way, and it's an increase of 190 students from last year. 9 of the 13 universities experienced growth.
However, this comes as branch UW campuses are struggling to keep their doors open due to declining enrollment. Last week, UW Platteville announced it will end operations at its Baraboo, Sauk County campus next May. The spring semester will continue as planned in person at Baraboo, Sauk County, and then after that, students will transfer to UW Platteville's main campus.
A gloomy, chilly one out there, as we expected. Meteorologist Blaze Keller joins us now with the frost potential we could see overnight. Blaze?
That's right. Tonight and most likely Thursday night into Friday, as our temperatures are expected to slip to or certainly below by a few degrees. That freezing mark, 32 degrees. It may be our first night that many of us slipped below 32 degrees in about 200 days. Last time we got there was in early May. So it's been a little bit of time, to say the least. Now is the time, if you've got any plants you want to save, to bring them in. If you don't have any room, certainly cover them up and keep them covered tonight and tomorrow night. As we head into the weekend, though, it is going to not only become warmer, we're going to see more sunshine and less windy conditions. This low pressure system has been sticking around for the last couple of days. The cooler temperatures, the windy conditions, I don't have to remind you of it, but it's slowly pushing off into the Hudson Bay, which means further south and west tomorrow, you're going to be more sunny, but we'll still keep the occasional gust upwards of maybe 20-25 miles per hour. Further north and east, you're closer to that low pressure system, so a little bit more cloud cover. But as we go throughout the day, we are going to say goodbye to the clouds as a high pressure system moves on in. So we'll stay partly sunny for the most part, mostly clear further south and west underneath that center of high pressure system. That high pressure system gradually moves its way eastward as we head into Friday. So that's going to cut our winds. We'll probably stay more partly sunny. We won't get both things that we normally see with high pressure systems, which is open skies and light winds. We just don't have both in our cards this time around. We'll just take the light winds. As this pushes off towards the east, winds turn back out of the south, bringing back that warmth, maybe a shower or two on Saturday. But it doesn't look to be heavy rain, kind of like what we saw over the last couple of days. A downpour here or there underneath a mix of, as I mentioned, partly sunny conditions. Take the First Warn weather app with you. Keep the umbrella handy just in case you're caught in one of those showers. But Friday night or Thursday into Friday, this is when we're likely going to experience our first hard freeze, upper 20s to low 30s, underneath that mix of mostly clear to partly cloudy conditions. Coming a little bit later than when we normally do. We normally see our first freeze around October 11th. Last year it was the 16th, so we've just pushed it back a little bit more as this low pressure system marked by these blues here pushes its way off towards the Hudson Bay. It's taking its time, but on the back side of it, the yellows, the oranges, indicating that warmer air that arrives as we head into Friday and then further sticking around into Saturday. Not really getting into those deeper reds or those oranges, so we're not going to get terribly, terribly warm. But compared to today, where we likely didn't get into even the low 50s, we'll be back into more of those upper 50s, if not the low 60s on both Saturday and Sunday. Then we add more rain chances as we head into the days leading up to Halloween. And I know Alex had mentioned this, and I don't think anybody at home would argue. There's been some Halloweens that we've had to deal with some snow. This year we may be dealing with at least warmer temperatures, but maybe some rain here and there in the low 50s. Just take the umbrella and we'll keep our fingers crossed because there's a lot of time between now and Halloween that Mother Nature gets rid of that rain so we can at least let the kiddos show off their cool costumes.
Yes.
This year we'll hang out in the 50s all of next week too.
All right, that sounds good, Blaze. Thank you. Well, the Packers are getting ready to travel to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers, and much will be made of the matchup with Aaron Rodgers.
And besides the obvious team connection to Rodgers, even 40 days shy now of his 42nd birthday, Rodgers can still play. Our senior Packers writer Jason Wilde with more from Lambeau Field.
For as much time as we're spending this week talking about Aaron Rodgers facing his old team, the reality is that the Packers' challenge with the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback, regardless of where he used to play, is how good he is, even at age 41. And one of the things that the Packers know they'll have to do is get after that 41-year-old with their pass rush.
Yeah, it's really difficult. The best way to beat a quarterback is to get him on his back. Because like I tell our guys all the time, it's hard to throw when you're on your back. So our pass rush is going to have to be on point, and we're going to have to do some things in terms of our coverages, and sometimes you got to hit in terms of what they're calling versus what you're calling, and hopefully that he has to hold the ball a little bit longer than he'd like, and you can win a matchup up front.
We'll have full coverage of everything Rodgers and everything Packers on our website, channel3000.com, where our Packers coverage is always free. And you also know you can sign up for our Packers newsletter, which delivers that coverage directly to your inbox every single day. At rainy Lambeau Field in Green Bay, I'm Jason Wilde, channel3000.com.
Jason, thank you. Well choreographed with the fan section there. Next at 5, how a teenager undergoing cancer treatment is fighting to free her father after immigration enforcement arrested him.
And the U.S. confirms another strike on an alleged drug smuggling vessel. This time it wasn't in the Caribbean. How the operation is being expanded just ahead. In national news, cities across the country are seeing more action from immigration enforcement. In Los Angeles, a U.S. Marshal and a driver accused of living in the U.S. illegally were shot and wounded by an ICE agent during a traffic stop. In New York, protesters took to the streets in Chinatown as ICE attempted to round up street vendors.
The crackdown is upending the lives of people across the country. And tonight, we're bringing you one family's story from the Chicago area.
That's where a teen with terminal cancer is fighting for her father's freedom. Sarah Maki has the story.
I am the 16-year-old daughter of immigrants.
A YouTube video from Ofelia Torres outlines her battle with rhabdomyosarcoma, its effect on her family.
My dad, Ruben Torres, has been the main parent who watches my brother while I stayed at the hospital.
And how a short weekend trip home after a month at the hospital for cancer treatment would be upended.
As of right now, we do not have any information on what happened while he was detained.
She says it was in this Niles Home Depot parking lot Saturday that her father was taken into custody by immigration officers.
My dad, like many other fathers, is a hardworking person.
We wait days to be able to speak to clients at the other detention facilities.
The family's attorney, Kalman Resnick, tells me they have filed for 40-year-old Torres's release, arguing the Mexican national, who has been in the country since March 2003, faces the prospect of months or even years in immigration custody, separated from his community and family, including his terminally ill daughter, who may die in the interim. He also tells us 16-year-old Ofelia returned to Lurie Children's Hospital Sunday, but her condition prevented them from resuming treatment, a situation that now has the attention of city leaders.
Release Mr. Torres on humanitarian grounds.
We need to make sure at the very least we're honoring some level of what we say our values are.
As well as the attention of federal officials.
Please let us recognize the family.
Ofelia and her mother, a DACA recipient, joining U.S. Representative Mike Quigley at a Know Your Rights event Monday, where he said he's working with Senators Dick Durbin and Tammy Duckworth for her father's release.
Now, the family's attorney says Torres is set to appear before a judge tomorrow. Meanwhile, a GoFundMe organized by Ophelia's teacher has raised more than $50,000 so far for their legal battle.
Meanwhile, we're learning the U.S. military conducted a deadly strike on an alleged drug-running boat, this time expanding its operations into the Pacific Ocean. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth made the announcement today, confirming that both people on board died in the strike. This marks the 8th known strike the U.S. military has carried out since last month, but for the first time it's happened outside of the Caribbean.
Coming up, the First Warn Weather Team tracking frost chances.
Blaze will tell us when we can expect it when we come back.
Hundreds of millions of dollars in goods vanish every year before they ever reach the stores. Our Eye on America uncovers how criminals turn supply chains into an underground market and why that steal of a deal might be exactly that.
That's our Eye on America tonight on the CBS Evening News.
Then coming up at 6, Ellie LaLiberte sits down with Dane County Executive Melissa Agard as departments and organizations express disappointment with her county budget proposal. Stay with us through the top of the hour.
We're just 2 days away from handing out all of the coats that, thanks to all of you, helped us collect in our Coats for Kids campaign.
Closing out the campaign now, volunteers will give out nearly 5,000 coats to local families in need this winter. But the Boys and Girls Clubs of Dane County still need volunteers to help sort, transfer, and distribute the coats this week.
You can help Friday from 4 to 6 at the Mackenzie Family Club in Sun Prairie, the Erica and Anthony Fleming Club in Madison, and the Allied Family Center in Fitchburg. We have all of the details on channel3000.com.
And it's coat weather officially.
Yeah, heavy coat tonight.
Had to
It's
break
chilly.
that out, turn on the fire today. Whew, it is fall out there, but we're going to be saying goodbye to the cold and the cloudy conditions as we get closer to the weekend. Tonight and Thursday night, expect probably some patchy frost as temperatures get close to freezing tonight. We will certainly get there Thursday night into Friday, and then we're sitting in the 60s with partly sunny conditions for the weekend.
All right, Blaze, thank you. Thanks for watching News 3 Now at 5. Coming up next, the CBS Evening News, and we'll be back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6.
Have a good evening, everybody. You can always find us streaming 24/7 on Channel 3000 Plus. Hope to see you back here at